This afternoon, I was thinking about this, and I said, "Gee, I wonder how many radios I have." And it turned out to be I have 7 handhelds, and guess what? Most of them need programming. Who remembers how to program these radios? And then Mike comes up and says, "Hey, we're going to do the Marine Corps Marathon. Program this, that, and the other thing into your radio." Who remembers how to do it? Luckily, we have RT Systems with a solution. And I'd like to introduce Karin Thompson, whose call is KD4DXX, and she's been a ham since 1990. So, Karin, over to you.
Well, thank you, Bob. I appreciate the introduction, and it's good to see all of you. And I have to admit, since I've been doing these presentations, it's been about 7 months now. I don't think I have run into another club that is as enthusiastic, not only about the hobby, but about their club members as this club is. Kudos to all of you. It is heartwarming to see it all. So, I hope you keep going. And if that antenna team ever wants to come to LaGrange, Georgia, I've been working for almost a year to get an antenna put up and having no luck around my place. So I guess when I get a chance to do it, the antenna will get put up. But anyway, that's another story. I am Karin with RT Systems. RT Systems has been around actually since 1990 when we first introduced SAM, which was Search for Amateurs. It was one of the first hard drive-based searches for call signs, took the FCC database and crunched it down from 170 megs to 9 megs. And I'm saying that right, megabytes. You have to remember this was 1990. And made it usable for most people. And that's come a long way since then with internet connections and everything. But it was really nice because it wasn't online. Fast forward from there to 1995, when Yaesu introduced 2 radios that they said cloned. And God gave my husband the idea of, well, can you make it talk to a computer? And the ability to do that, and the rest is history from there. From those first 2, the FT11 and the FT51, fast forward 29 years, and there's really not a radio made today that does not do what we do. That doesn't mean we do them all. That just means, we do as many as we can. We're very limited by our staff. We're a small company and we're having trouble finding people just like other small companies, but we get to them as quickly as we can. And we go on from there. We now do 540 of them. And Bob, that was interesting when you were saying what radios you have. You have to remember the first thing in developing a programmer for a radio is buying the radio. And with a lot of these Chinese radios, you don't buy one, you buy 3 or 4 of them because immediately out there are 3 or 4 different versions. And I hate to say it, but I think we passed 1,000 radios several years ago. I wish I had a picture of it, but when we moved 4 years ago, where the radios were going to be was as much of a consideration as where my people were going to sit. And they have outgrown their space, and we're looking for more space for that. But anyway, it gets interesting dealing with them. But you have to remember, I deal with radios on a different level. I deal with radios with bits and bytes and pieces under the covers and features and what they do and this kind of thing, more so than how they do it. I can tell you a lot about radios of, oh, you want that organized? Well, why don't you do this? Your radio does it. And sort of a living manual to be able to talk about a lot of these radios and their features. So like I say, I'm on a different level with it. And let me show you what I'm talking about there. I'm going to go away and let you look at a programmer But like I say, you can learn a lot about your radio from the programmer. And on our webpage, we have a lot of screenshots from the programmers. And so even if you're considering a radio, you might want to look. Like the FTM 400, it has band A memories and band B memories. Well, what does that mean for you? A lot of radios have double display. That means that your radio has two independently isolated buckets of memories. You can put anything you want into them. It used to be they were pure UHF and VHF. Now they're any combination you want. But you've got twice as many memory channels because you've got two independent buckets. And that's compared to, let's take the D710G Kenwood, and it has just memories. It's got two displays. That means that both of those displays are looking at that same bucket of memories. That's what the programmer can tell you right off. Another thing, Kenwood is 0 based. It has a 0 memory channel. Yaesus are 1 based. So if you wanted to copy from a Yaesu and paste into a Kenwood, you'd want to, which you can do all day long, you're going to want to space fill this first one with something. Radios generally like to have their first channel programmed. And 146.94, 144.00 is almost even better, because then when you come up to that, you just know you're at the blank space at the top of the list. And you go on from there. Everything from the FTM 400, all the details, copied in, even though you can see, here, I'll line them up a little bit better. You can see receive, transmit, offset direction, operating mode, name. This one's got show name. This one doesn't. Tone modes. This one's got 2 tone modes. This one's got 3. The programmer takes care of the likes and differences. You bring it all, and I'm clicking on the channel numbers over here to bring it all, and we sort it out when we lay it in. If something is missing, we fill it in with a default. If something is extra, we just ignore it. Okay? Because the radio is going to ignore it. But this way, you don't have to worry about, well, what have I got? What do I don't need? Or what don't I need? Sorry. The programmer takes care of that for you. I can go to another mobile. I can go to, how about the UV5R? And I just click and paste. It's ready to go. That's ready to go to the radio. And you see this one, I only have memories and VFO. That's all I have available. Where here, let's go back to the 400, band A and band B, which is the top and the bottom. And I'm now in a default file, band A and band B. Band A limit memories, which is a scanning function. Band B limit memories, which means they can be different on the top and the bottom for how you want to scan. Your home channels for the top and for the bottom. And there's some radios that will have a different list in the top and the bottom because they do different bands for the top and the bottom. It's interesting how these radios fall together. But there's an interesting point to be made here. In the programmer, if there is information on a screen filling channels in a default file, untitled is a default file, that means it must be filled. There is nothing sacred about what's in it. What's in it is a default that came from the factory when this radio was originally blessed as a radio, because when it comes off the line, it doesn't know what it is. This can be changed to any acceptable VHF frequency, 220 frequency, 440 frequency, something in the 800s. But you get mixed up and it's all of a sudden yelling at you that what you're trying to put in there is not a good frequency. Like if I enter a valid receive frequency, because I forgot where I was in the column. And if ever you're wondering, go back to an untitled file, look in the same place, and you can see what it is. And if I need to, I can copy from here and I can just paste them right in here. Well, it wasn't happy with that. I promise you, it always misbehaves when I'm showing it off. It's just one of those things, but you get the idea. That's where the information is going to come from. So, and at the very worst, I copy them one at a time, because if I were to try to send this file to the radio, it's going to come up with a message that says that those VFOs cannot, or the home channels cannot be blank. Because if you send them blank to the radio, your radio will be happy to forget that it's a radio. Because when it's doing its startup routine, it's looking for certain things. And one of the certain things it's looking for are frequencies here. So we're protecting you from that with all the warning messages and error messages that come up. We've looked at these things and we've built it to keep you from hurting your radio. Okay. Another thing that can be done, let's play in somebody else. How about the UV17L? This is a popular handheld right now. You see that I can copy out of one programmer and paste into another. I can import an Excel spreadsheet. I'm not going to cover that tonight. It would take too long. I've got videos online showing that. Or I can go File, External Data. Radio Reference and RFinder require a paid subscription from those sites, and then we'll ask for your credentials. But Repeater Book is free. So let's go with Repeater Book. And I don't have a zip code up there, but I think I can spell it. And we'll go 50 miles around it, which is pushing it for a handheld, I know. But let's say I get out and drive around and tell it okay. And this is not a programming file. Okay, and you think, this is really strange. What am I doing with it? This is a return. Hey, I could have typed Vienna, Louisiana, because I fat fingered it on the keyboard, and that's not where I want to be. So it gives me a chance to close it and try again. Okay. This also gives me the ability down here at the bottom of the screen. And what I'm showing you right now is only in the Windows version. You won't see it in the Mac version. The Mac version has search, but it doesn't have these other, this sorting and these other things defined in it. And we're working to get that in there as soon as we can. But I can come in here and I can drop out D-Star and DMR and P25, because radio can't do them anyway. I don't have to hunt through the notes and figure out where they are. I'm going to leave Fusion because it usually does FM. City is a little too much. You can see my cities here. That's a lot of characters. So I'm going to put this back to call sign, or let's even put it to none. Let's put it to call sign, because this many characters in this radio is realistic, but there are new characters or new radios that this number of characters is realistic. I'm going to leave city in the comment. That is for the file. Okay, that doesn't go to the radio. But I'm going to grab this bar and I'm going to move over to the right-hand end of it. And see this column marked distance? I'm going to click on that and now my near repeaters are first, and I go out in a constant distance until I'm further away. Now, the list was pulled in a circle, so it's going around and around and around. As you can see, I go south and then I go north-northwest. So while it's that far away, it could be in either direction from you. And now I'm going to create the file. Tones are set up according to the information we were handed back. Tone squelch. See if I have anything interesting in there. Nope, just tones and tone squelch, it looks like, up in your area. We can get other things occasionally. Offsets are good. They're all FM. You see I've got name. All the settings, or all the programmers, have settings and radio menu settings. These are options of the radio that are not set 100 times as the ones in the spreadsheet are. These are ones that are customized that the radio uses, whether you're scanning, you're talking on a channel, no matter what band you're talking on. And one of the things in this radio, it happens to be display mode for name or frequency for the top and the bottom is set here because it is an all or nothing setting. That means all the channels are going to appear that way. And backlight and other things that can be useful for you. I close and apply changes and close. Then I do communications and send data to radio. While I have this screen open, let's talk about it just a minute. RT Systems introduced its own USB cables in 2009. At that time, we locked the programmers down to our USB because USB circuitry was anything but universal. Well, over the years, it has become better, so much better, and a little more universal. So we have opened the programmers up that, especially if you get a cable from the manufacturer that says it goes with your radio, or even better, comes in the box with your radio, and the drivers for the chips in it are compatible with your operating system, it will work in the programmer. You can do COM port setup. You're responsible for loading the drivers. You're responsible for making sure it gets to the point of a COM port. And then you go into COM port setup and tell it the COM port number that you have. It'll work just fine. But if you're using one of the RT Systems cables, skip it. Do not mess with COM port setup. We know our cables and we'll find them automatically. We know the electronics in the 991, the ICOM radios that are going in through straight cables, through lots of them that go in through straight cables. The DMR radios don't even have COM ports set up in them because it's feeding in completely differently. And we have all of that written into the program to save you the trouble of having to set all that up. You just go to get data from or send data to. Be sure you follow the steps on the screen. If it tells you to do something, do it. If it doesn't tell you to do something, don't go digging for more than what it tells you to do here. We have included all the instructions you need. I have to admit, we started designing these 29 years ago, and what you won't find in them is let go of the button. It is understood, or it is written with the understanding that when the radio does what you expect it to from the step, that you let go of the buttons you're holding. So it also comes with the understanding that the cable is connected to the computer and the radio. Believe me, we have been challenged on that. You didn't tell me to do that. And that the radio's on, or that you turn it on according to this. We get all kinds of interesting things in tech support. So I've shown you the programmers in general. Let me show you one or two other things. This is both in Mac and Windows as far as, so you want to change something in general. Scan add. And I want to set everything to skip for whatever reason. I change the first one. I go Control C. And I do shift down arrow because for me it's easier. You can use the mouse and do the same thing. Control V, and they're all now set to skip. It does have column editing. I can even do that with a checkbox. I don't have to do them all. I can come down and just paste it where I want it. So trying to make the editor as easy to use as possible. We talked about settings. Let's go back into the FTM 400 and I'll show you real quick. This is where the radios vary so much, and I realize this is a little bit small to see, but the other radio I was in, there was one page of settings. Here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages of settings. And as I said, these are the things that you truly customize your radio with. So while all of this copies and pastes, the settings do not copy and paste between them. There are a couple of places where there are some grids, and we're working to get some copy and paste in there to make it a little bit easier. But in all honesty, if you want your settings to come forward to the next file, do a save as on the file. That gets all the settings forward, and then delete all the frequencies and start over again with that. Yeah, it's kind of working backwards, but it gets the job done. So we have all that going on. Let me show you another couple things in general about RT systems. Let me see where I hit it. There we go. Our webpage, which I think you saw earlier, rtsystemsinc.com. You can get there with rtsystems.com. It'll just port you over to this one. This link, how-to videos, and they're not going to run off on you. I do videos and try to get as much information out there as I can in video form. My DMR section, a lot of how-tos, a lot about the drivers and what to do if it does. A lot on Yaesu, and several of these on Yaesu are a read and do kind of format. So it doesn't run off on you, so you can get the job done as you read and do. Okay? The other one out here is my knowledge base. And yes, this actually goes out to another site because it has a better search engine for me. And DMR, and here are all the articles I've written on DMR. Okay, or you can just scroll down through it and you will find that I try to organize things by company, by radio. Okay, so if you have a particular radio you're looking for something about, see if I have it by company and by radio. Okay, lots of information here. And I think people are using these quite a bit. I'm surprised to see the counts on some of these occasionally. Okay, and these are written. These are meant to be read. Where I am doing videos that relate to them, there'll be a video link there to it, and the video link and the write-up will go together. So just trying to get information out there for you so you can enjoy your radios more. Generally, where you see the RT Systems logo, it's live, and it will take you back to the web page. Let me show you real quick in the programmer, help, about. This is my web page, the RT Systems. The support is a link for TeamViewer. And that's for when you're on the phone with us, and we'll send you to this support so it can download and install. But this is a nice little shortcut to what you're doing. I'm sorry, I realize I'm jumping around a little bit. But one more thing, and every time you run the programmer, do help and check for updates. As often as you guys run one of these, there will be something out there that I'm sure needs to be updated because there's some common files that need to be kept up to date. But back to the web page again. Let's go down. This is my list of radio manufacturers over here on the left. Okay, so you see there's quite a list now. And we talked about cables. And yes, my cables are a tad expensive. I'll agree with you. I've seen them. But they work. And they work on the radios that we say they work on. You don't have to wonder if that one you found on Amazon for $3 is going to be your first purchase or one of 15 purchases. And we also have this on the page. Select any cable from any page you see it. These are all the radios that this cable works with. It is software that is unique to a radio, not the cable. The importance of the cable is the wiring, the electronics under the hood, and the pin configuration at the end. But this works on all of these radios. And we have this product guide, which is every one of my cables, every radio it works with, what kind of connector it's got on it, and all kinds of information, again, to help you know which one. The other thing you're noticing are colors here. In 2009, I could not imagine blessing you with a box full of black cables. That to me would just have been impossible. So you've got different colors. So when you look in your Go box, you at least have some idea because of the color of the cable. Again, just trying to help. This document also has all our miscellaneous cables that we make available and a radio to cable information. It shows you the radio, the programmer, and the cable that it uses. Now, 540 different programs. And I promise you, I did not fall off the turnip truck yesterday. I know that some of these radios are alike, especially these Chinese radios. If you have a radio and somebody brings you another one and you look at it and go, geez, that looks just like my radio, and you already have the programmer, try it. It's worth the try. But let me tell you what happened the other day. There's a new Bofang. It's a 5RX. I've heard of the UV5R in all its connotations. This is the 5RX. Looks like a UV5R. Has 220 airband. It has 2 meters and 440 transmit. It'll read and write with a UV5R program. And guess what? When you get through, it won't have 220 in it anymore, and you can't get it back. So this thing of experimenting with another programmer may not be the best thing to do. You might want to double check or realize what you're risking. We put out, if the radio manufacturer changes the number, we put out a different programmer purely in the sake of organization. So when you come looking for the 5RM, you can find it. And when your buddy comes in 2 weeks looking for the 5RH, he can find it. Because it doesn't matter how many places I put it, that those programmers are the same. And I just happen to remember that pair is the same. One of you isn't going to find it and may or may not believe us when we tell you that those two will go together. But if you wonder let's go to Bofang because they are the most notorious. If you will use my webpage this way, I went to the manufacturer, I'm going to go to handhelds, and I'm going to go down to UV5R. UV5R. This is called my category page. Okay, I'm not at the product yet. Works with. And I have a works with list. Does not work with. And I have a does not work with list. Okay, so I'm going to try to put it out there for you as quickly as I find out that it does or it doesn't. See, do not use this program for the 5RX. As soon as I found out there was a problem with that, this went up. So, but I'm not the only one that's got a UV5R programmer. So I can't imagine what's happening to these radios. I just hope for the best and am thankful they're not expensive. But for somebody else, this is all they have to buy a radio. So at least it still works on 2 meters and 440. We're trying all we can to help you enjoy the hobby with the radio you have. One more thing, and then I won't keep you much longer. Our software is distributed by download. You can still get a CD if you buy from dealers. In some cases, you will get a CD. In general, you will get a card with a license. You're buying the software. The only difference is how it's being distributed. Okay? That license is registered to you. You can come out here to downloads anytime you want. Program download. Put in your email address. Put in the serial number and download. Once you put in an email address, you're tied to that email address. If you need it changed or it doesn't work the next time, if you'll contact us, we'll see what's wrong. I had somebody who could not spell com today. Yep, that one was easy to fix. My other favorite is you'd be surprised how many ways they can spell Gmail. So, and those kind of things will stop it from working when you get it right the second time around. The other about our software, we offer about 35 programmers for the Mac. When you buy our software, you buy it for one operating system. The second operating system, if available, is offered to you at a discount with proof of purchase. But that's just the way we do it. You buy it for one operating system at the time. If the second one is $15. So we'll be more than happy to help you with that if you find you want both operating systems. Okay. Forgot my serial number. So you're getting a new computer and you're all excited about it. And you have 3 or 4 RT Systems programmers and you want to put them on this new computer. So what are you going to do? Dig through 3 years worth of emails and see if you can find serial numbers? Please don't. Come and put your email address that you downloaded or installed with and click Forgot My Serial Number. And it'll send it right out there to you. And you'll have the list. You'll have your radio and the serial number next to it. Come back to the page, do the download, do the installation, and you've got your programmers on your new computer. And you can do that anytime. We don't have to be there. Okay? So again, trying to make it so it's at your fingertips when you need it.
Karin, this has been great. Any questions for the room?
Hey, how's it going? Is there a possibility in the future of, instead of having your repeaters chosen by distance, that they're chosen by something that has more to do with actual activity or reachability that's not just distance-based?
I have been told that Repeater Book is working on a route search We have not seen it yet. I'm hoping he has it for us so we can introduce it at Dayton. But it's up to him at this point to give us that interface. It happens that our Finder has a route interface, but Peterbook doesn't just yet, although, like I say, I have heard that he's working on one.
You mentioned 3 sources of downloading the data, 2 of them being paid and the repeater book being free. I've used a repeater book. Is there an advantage to using the paid sites over the repeater book?
No. I think repeater book has the best data because he is very involved with area coordinators in checking his data. We met him at Orlando, which would have been February this year, and he is very on top of his data. So I was very impressed with what all he's doing with that. And radio reference is more commercial. So that would be the difference between repeater book and radio reference. Is radio reference, you're going to get more of the commercial stuff.
I had a question. So I've actually used RT System software before, and I really like it. But I use Linux as my primary operating system, and I was wondering if you have considered Linux support, because I know you don't offer built on your website for Linux.
No, I'm afraid we don't. We just don't have the manpower to get to it. So sorry, it's not on the drawing board.
Hey, Karin, thank you for a great presentation. So I have many versions of this software, and I have multiple email accounts, and I've made purchases with multiple email accounts. Is there an easy way to get those combined into one account?
If you will send us your multiple emails, do an email and send what emails that you did have and what email you want it under, we will convert everything that's version 5 or version 6 to that one for you. We have to do that in-house, but we'll be more than happy to, just with an email to tech support. We'll get that taken care of for you and then email you back when we get it done. Let me explain one other thing. Version 3 and version 4 software was not registered this way. This is only version 5 and version 6. So, version 4, there is an upgrade path to version 5 at a reduced price. If you have some version 4s that you want to come to version 5, just let us know what you have and we'll work with you on it.
Thank you, Karin. We had a question from the room about legacy hardware. For very old radios, do you also have a programming support?
I do radios all the way back to 1995.
On behalf of Vienna Wireless Society, Karin, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for showing us a good solution to a common problem. And we appreciate your participation as a vendor, because what you do makes our radios work. So thank you very, very much. A round of applause, please.